Welcome to our YouTube channel Mathematical Pathshala. In the previous lecture, I gave you introduction to splitting field and some basic properties of splitting field. Then we saw splitting field for the cyclotomic extension. That means you are looking for the roots of this polynomial in a minimal extension of Q. And I also gave you an a particular example of this x power p minus 2, where p is some prime. Okay, I think this was left. I just did a particular case of this. So in this lecture I will do the general case for this, and also we will see some more concept related to algebraically closure. And in the previous lecture at last I left one concept. I was defining, suppose you are having a polynomial fx which is defined in capital Fx. So, and you are having a field isomorphism, say f to f prime. So suppose this map is a phi map, and correspondingly you are having an extension from fx to f prime x, and this map you can get by applying the phi map on the coefficients. So this is our isomorphism between rings, this is an isomorphism between fields. Then you generate this f to f prime, let me call this map as phi map. Then you define the homomorphism between E to E prime, where E is a splitting field for fx over f, and this E prime is a splitting field for this map, where phi px you can think in this manner, or if I used the different notation, you can use that notation. Or for a particular instance, let me say this is phi x, because this I am operating, okay, not this x, let me call this as a phi x, because this map you can get by suppose you want to find the image of an element, say a0 plus a1x plus up to an x power n, then phi x operated at a0 plus a1x plus up to an x power n, which will be same as phi at a0 times x plus phi at a1 times x, phi at a0 plus phi at a1 x plus phi at a2 into x square up to plus phi at an and x to the power n. So this is a ring isomorphism, and we saw if px is an irreducible polynomial, in fx, and if you find the image under phi x, then the image is going to be an irreducible polynomial in f prime x. So this we have seen, and we constructed this isomorphism sigma from E to E prime, where sigma restricted to f gives you phi. So this we constructed in the previous lecture. But then one natural question arises, suppose there is more than one splitting field, then what can you say about those splitting fields? Suppose I am having this polynomial fx inside capital Fx, and say E is a splitting field and E prime is a splitting field for this fx. What can you say about this E and E prime? Are they going to be isomorphic? See, this E prime is different. This E prime is a splitting field corresponding to this polynomial phi operated at fx. So for this, let us think in this manner. Suppose I have a natural homomorphism from f to f, or I have a natural isomorphism between f to f prime. This I is identity map. I operated at x gives you x for every x belongs to capital F. So once you have this map, now you take any polynomial, then corresponding to this polynomial, what will be your I of fx? This will be your actually fx if you extend this map, because then correspondingly you are having this map I from fx to f prime x, and this is a ring isomorphism, and this is an identity map. So this will send fx to fx. So you are having a splitting field or for fx, and suppose E prime is the splitting field for I fx, because these two are same. So you are having an isomorphism between E and E prime. Say this is sigma. This need not to be identity, but sigma restricted to f will give you identity map. That means if you have any polynomial in fx, then there is a unique splitting field up to isomorphism. This becomes an isomorphism. So there is a unique splitting field for any polynomial up to isomorphism and up to field isomorphism, because E and E prime both are fields. So now I can use the word in place of a word, I can use the word. That means there is a unique splitting field corresponding to any polynomial up to isomorphism. So now I can say the splitting field is always unique up to isomorphism. So now I will use word the splitting field in place of a splitting field. Now if you understand the concept of splitting field, let us discuss one question. Suppose L is, or say omega is cos 2 pi by 10 plus I sin 2 pi by 10. So we are having this extension, say L is equal to q omega, k is equal to q omega square. And option A, degree of L over q is 10. Option B, degree of L over k is 2. Option C, degree of L over q is 4. Option D, L and k both are same extension. This question was asked in CSIR NET December 2015 session, and I liked this question. See, you are now comfortable with the splitting fields. What is this omega actually? This omega is nothing but e to the power 2 pi I by 10. This is the 10th primitive root of unity. This is 10th primitive root of unity. So if you are looking for this extension q adjoint omega, this is nothing but the splitting field for this omega. Okay, not for omega. This is the splitting field for x to the power 10 minus 1 polynomial. So this is a cyclotomic extension for this polynomial, and you know what is the degree of this. So you can say q omega over q forms a vector space, and the degree of this extension will be a degree of minimal polynomial of omega over qx, where omega is 10th primitive root of unity, and this is nothing but cyclotomic polynomial, or degree of cyclotomic polynomial phi 10x, and phi 10x you can calculate. This is nothing but phi of 10. This is Euler phi function, and this is cyclotomic polynomial. Phi of 10, if you calculate, you will get 4, because there are exactly 4 numbers which are relatively prime to 10 and less than or equal to 10. Those are precisely 1, 3, 5 and 7. Okay, 1, 3, not 5, 1, 3, 7, 9. So q omega has degree 4. Now what can you say about this q omega square? Once you know omega, what is omega square? Omega square is e power 2 pi I by 10. Okay, 2 pi I by 5. This will be your omega square. Now you can see this is the 5th primitive root of unity. So if you are looking for this extension q omega square, this is the splitting field for the polynomial x to the power 5 minus 1, because this is the 5th primitive root of unity. So this will be the generator of the group of 5th roots of unity, and this is a primitive fifth root of unity. Primitive fifth root of unity. So this is the splitting field for this polynomial, and now you can directly find q omega square over q has exactly a degree at which is phi 5, which is nothing but the degree of cyclotomic polynomial phi 5x. So if you calculate this, you will get actually 4, because there are 4 numbers which are relatively prime to 5 and less than or equal to 5. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what can you say about this q omega square and q omega? Because I gave you one particular concept if this degree of extension is odd number and omega is an algebraic element, so clearly this is being a finite extension, this is algebraic. So if this extension has odd degree, then q alpha and q alpha square will be same, but here the extension is of even degree, we cannot use that concept. But we have very nice property, we can observe this q omega square is contained in q omega, and this is a vector space over q, this is a vector space over q, and both are finite dimensional vector space. So this is a subspace of q omega, this is of 4 dimensional, this is of 4 dimension over q. So if you take any finite dimension vector space and you take any subspace of that, and if that subspace has the same dimension, that means those are same. So this will force us, this q omega square is same as q omega, because this is a subspace of this and this has the same dimension as q omega. So your L and K will be same. L over Q will be of 4 degree, L over K will be of 1 degree. So this is false. L over Q, this is false. So if you don't know the concept of this splitting field, you cannot attempt this problem in your examination, and even after that you cannot attempt. Now let's discuss this x to the power p minus 2, where p is prime. So you are looking for the splitting field for this. Now I can say this is the we can say the splitting field. Can you give me the roots of this equation? Clearly the roots will be 2 power 1 by p omega times 2 power 1 by p omega square, or rather writing omega, let me use this zeta p. Zeta p square 2 power 1 by p and zeta p to the power p minus 1 2 power 1 by p. You can easily observe these are the precisely p roots of this equation. You can put this into this, you will get 0. You can put this, you will get 0. You can put this, you will get 0, because omega zeta p square, zeta p to the power p minus 1 and 1 all are roots of unity. So if you put into x to the power p, you will get 1, but you are taking 2 power 1 by p also, so you will get 2 power 1 by p whole power p, you will get 2. So 2 minus 2 will be 0. So all are roots of this equation. Now you are looking for the splitting field. Can you say this is the splitting field? Zeta p, because zeta p can generate zeta p square, zeta p to the power p minus 1 can be generated. 2 power 1 by p you have inserted, so by using these two you can generate every element, and this zeta p is different than 2 to the power 1 by p, because zeta p is a complex root. If you remove the case p is 2, because if you choose p to be 2, then you will have real cases. So you can assume say p is odd prime, because when you choose p to be 2, then case is easy. You will have q adjoint 2 power 1 by 2, that will be your splitting field. So here you have this splitting field. Can you tell me the degree of this splitting field? See, from q you can go to the q whole power 1 by p. From q to q zeta p you can go here. From here you can go to 2 power 1 by p and zeta p. So from q to q adjoint 2 power 1 by p you can go with degree p, because you have a minimal polynomial xp minus 2. This is a minimal polynomial and this is irreducible by using Eisenstein criteria. Here your prime is 2. So 2 divides 2, 2 divides 0 and 2 divides 0, but 2 does not divide 1, but 2 square does not divide 2. So by Eisenstein criteria this is irreducible. From here to here you can reach up to p minus 1 step, because this is the value of phi p. Degree of extension of this extension over q will be the degree of cyclotomic polynomial phi p, and phi p has degree exactly Euler phi function of evaluated at p. So this is p minus 1. This p and p minus 1 both are prime. So if you are landing into this, then it will be p into p minus 1, because this is again of p degree, this is of p minus 1 degree. Because here you can think in this manner. For this extension you can think like this. q adjoint zeta p adjoint 2 power 1 by p. So this x to the power p minus 1 p minus 2 will be a minimal polynomial, will be the minimal polynomial for this over q adjoint zeta p. And for here to here you can write q adjoint 2 power 1 by p adjoint zeta p. And being this and these are relatively prime, you can say this is p into p minus 1 degree extension. So this is the splitting field, because this is the smallest, and I have removed the case when p is 2 or p is odd, p is even prime. So now you have understood the concept of a splitting field. Let me write definition of algebraically closure. Some people call it closure or some people call it closure, so whichever you like you can say. Suppose we have a field. Let us observe the meaning of this algebraic closure. See, this algebraically forces that extension should be algebraic, and closure property means you take any polynomial, that polynomial should have all the roots in that extension, and this is true for every polynomial. Then we say that the extension is algebraically closure, or the field extension will be algebraically closure. Let f be a field, f bar is called algebraically closure of f if number 1 is f bar over f. This is an algebraic extension. Number 2, every polynomial fx factors completely or splits completely in f bar x. So if any extension which satisfy these two property, then we will call that algebraically closure of that field. So that extension should be algebraic, and any polynomial defined on f should split completely in f bar x. In f bar x, then we say this is algebraically closure of this. Next time we define this algebraically closed field. Now this is for extension, because you are looking for a closure of some field, and when you are saying algebraically closed field, and that means you are working on a single field. Here you are looking for an extension, because you are saying this algebraically closure of some field, and this algebraically closed field, that means you have given a field and you are checking whether that structure is going to be algebraically closed or not. So that is how you can distinguish the definition between algebraically closure and the algebraically closed field. Let K be a field, K is said to be algebraically closed if every polynomial factors completely in K, or in other words you can say K is said to be algebraically closed if every polynomial has all the roots in K, because factors completely means you can factors into linear factors, that means every root will be inside K, then we say this K is algebraically closed field. See, to construct some non-trivial example for algebraically closure and algebraically closed field, this is little bit difficult task, so I am not going into deep because the proofs need some extra effort or some extraordinary approach. So I will skip the proof, but if you are interested you can read from Dummett and Wootey book. But for that the prerequisite will be Zorn's lemma. So you should be aware of Zorn's lemma, and you should be aware of how to construct a ring in infinitely many variables. That means this are x1, x2 and so on. I have given introduction to this ring in ring theory in the last lecture. But the proof you can understand only if you are comfortable with this ring as well as with Zorn's lemma. And proof is not so important for the exam point of view. So I am skipping the proof, but if you are interested you can read from Dummett and Wootey book. Okay, let me tell you some examples of algebraically closure, but that will be trivial one. Suppose Q is a base field. Can you give me algebraically closure of this Q? That means you give me an extension of Q which is algebraic, and every polynomial in Q will be factored completely inside that field. Can I take Q bar to be C? First, let us observe what can you say about this extension, whether this is an algebraic extension or not. That means every element here should be algebraic over Q, but that is not true. So this you can say C is not algebraic closure of Q, because I can give you some element which are not algebraic. I can give you this E. This E is a transcendental number. You cannot construct any polynomial in Q which contains E as a root. So this C is not algebraic closure. So this is not true. But what can you say about this C? Whether this C is algebraically closed field or whether this R is an algebraically closed field. See, this is algebraically closed field. Which actually comes from the fundamental theorem of calculus. Sorry, not calculus, fundamental theorem of algebra. If you take any polynomial defined on complex field, it has exactly as many roots as the degree of that polynomial. So this will have complex roots. So this is algebraically closed field. You choose any polynomial in C, that will the roots will always land up in C. And I must say one more thing. Till now you have not seen any bigger field than C. So you agree to that. You have not seen any field which is bigger than C. What can you say about this R, whether this is algebraically closed or not? Every polynomial in R has a root in R. But if you see this x square plus 1, this is not algebraically closed. So this R is not algebraically closed, but this C is algebraically closed. Let me write one statement. For every field F, there exists an algebraically or an algebraic closure of your field F. For every field F, there exists an algebraic closure of F. The proof I am not doing here. I am skipping the proof. So this proof you can get from Dummett and Wootey book, or if you do Google, you will get proof. But the proof is a little bit non-trivial. Now let's observe some more properties for the algebraic closure and algebraically closed field. k be algebraically closed field? Can I say k and k bar will be same? You are seeing this k be an algebraically closed field, and you are asking about whether k and k bar are same or not. That means the algebraic closure of k will be k or not. Or what can you say about this converse? If k is same as k bar, let's see. If k is same as k bar, that means algebraic closure of k and algebraic closure of k is k itself. But then this will imply degree of k over k will be 1, which is finite. So every finite extension is algebraic. So this k bar over k is, this is an algebraic extension. And once it is algebraic, what you need to check, every polynomial in k splits completely in k, but that is very natural because k is same as k bar. So k is same as k bar, that means k is algebraic closure of itself. So if you choose any polynomial in k, which is in k bar also, so by definition fx factors completely in k. That means k is algebraically closed field. So one way is trivial. If k and k bar are same, then you have k to be algebraically closed field. But when k is algebraically closed field, can you say k and k bar are same? See, this side, let k be algebraically closed field. See, by definition, k is already contained in k bar. Now what you need to prove? That k bar is contained in k. So we need to show that this k bar is an algebraic extension and every polynomial in k factors completely in k bar. But that is again very easy because this k is algebraically closed field. K over k is of degree 1. This is finite extension. So you can say k over k is algebraic. So this is an algebraic extension. And also you can see this k is same as k bar because every polynomial in k factors completely in k because k is algebraically closed field. So k bar and k will be same. So converse is also same. So you can say k is algebraically closed if and only if k is same as k closure. Oh sorry, k algebraic closure. So this is statement we can use. Now let me write one more statement. Let f bar be an algebraic closure of f. What can you say about this f bar? Whether this f bar is going to be algebraically closed or not? This f bar is algebraically closed. And what we need to show, we have given f bar is an algebraic closure of f. We need to show f bar is algebraically closed. That means every polynomial in f bar completely factors into f bar. Let fx be any arbitrary polynomial in f bar x and say alpha is a root. Alpha be a root of fx. If I show that this alpha belongs to f bar, then I am done. What can you say about this extension? F bar alpha over f bar. will it be algebraic extension? See, this fx is a polynomial, so it must have some finite degree, and this polynomial is defined in f bar, and alpha is one of the root. What is the degree of extension of this? This will be minimal polynomial of alpha over f bar of x. So it should be degree, and this must divide degree of fx, because fx is one polynomial defined over f bar x and contains alpha as a root. So this minimal polynomial, degree of minimal polynomial, okay, wait for a while, that should be less than or equal to degree of fx, because minimal polynomial of alpha over f bar divides fx. So degree of minimal polynomial must be less than or equal to degree of fx. So this is finite. So being a finite extension, we can say this f bar alpha over f bar is algebraic extension. Now this is an algebraic extension. That means every element here will be algebraic element of f bar over f bar. So I can say in particular alpha is algebraic over f bar. If alpha is algebraic over f bar, that means there exists a polynomial okay, this alpha is algebraic over f bar, and I need to show that this alpha is a member of f bar. By definition it is true, because what is f bar? F bar is algebraic closure. So alpha is algebraic over f bar. Okay, wait for a while. If I look for this f bar over alpha over f, okay, let me use this particular theorem. F bar alpha contains f bar contains f. F bar is algebraic over f, so this extension is algebraic extension. This extension is algebraic. Just now we have proved. So this is algebraic. And we know that algebraic extension is transitive. Algebraic extension over some algebraic extension is again algebraic. So this is algebraic, this is algebraic, and we have already proved algebraic follows transitivity. So this f bar alpha is algebraic over f. So this will imply f bar over alpha over f is algebraic. If it is algebraic, this will force alpha is algebraic element over f. If alpha is algebraic over f, that means this implies there exists some polynomial gx in f bar x such that f alpha is 0. Sorry, g alpha is 0. Because by definition, if alpha is algebraic over f, so it must be a root of some non-zero polynomial inside capital Fx. So this gx is a polynomial which is defined on fx, and this contains alpha as a root. But by definition, this f bar is an algebraic closure of f. That means this f bar is an algebraic extension over f, and every polynomial inside f factors completely in f bar. So in particular, this gx must factor completely inside f bar. So this alpha must be a member of f bar. This will force us alpha must be a member of f bar by definition of f bar. So we are using two things here. This f bar is algebraic extension over f, and this f bar contains root of every polynomial which is defined on f. But for that I proved first this thing. This f bar alpha is algebraic over f bar. So this is the technique. You can use these two statements related to algebraically closed and algebraic closed fields. इससे ज़्यादा की ज़रूरत मुझे नहीं लगता किसी एग्जाम में पड़ेगी. So this is all with respect to the splitting field and algebraically closed field and algebraic closure of some field. So in the upcoming lecture, we will be discussing about separable and inseparable extension. तो आज के लिए इतना ही करते हैं. Thanks for watching this lecture.